Only it's dark this time. Well, I mean, the sun's just kind of creeping up, but excuse me. But as we head towards December 22nd, it's going to get darker and darker. I am, all the other bridges got fixed, well, with the exception of the Fairfax Bridge up above us on the mountain. And 167 isn't fixed yet, so we're going to go up the far side like we did last week. And avoid that getting choked down to one lane on 167. However, wow, it's kind of blown me away how much glare there is because of the headlights and taillights. Camera. I don't know if you guys are picking that up, but I sure see it. Good morning. Only hopes. Wait a minute. Hope, blessing, and prayer, maybe. I can't read that very well. Hey, Demoose. And unfortunately, we got at symbols again this morning, so I apologize if I don't know who you are by your at symbol. Um, because a lot of people don't use the same at symbol as the name of their channel. And so I get used to everybody one way, and now we have to change and go the other way, and now I got to relearn it all. So, oh, okay. Hi, Dolly. Well, hopefully I can remember that, and it won't take me 6 months to remember that. Thank you, dear. Yeah, we're still dark here. We probably got another half hour or so before the sun's going to be up. And okay, there's another one I don't recognize. Ben Lane, welcome in. Um, hopefully the 167 bridge fixed here pretty soon. Hi, Lee. That one I recognize. Excuse me, Leapers. We're going to take the same trip we did last week because of the bridge closure. The cool part is all the other bridges in the area are open. They've got the rest of them repaired. So now at least I can go visit the kids and the grandbaby without driving an hour and a half out of the way. really on the company email. Now we're getting whatever the betting websites. Emails, garbage emails from a betting website. Draft, whatever it is. That's kind of dumb. Anyway, um, this was actually a big week. I went up on a panel and actually showed myself for the first time this week on Belt Loop 29's live Saturday night. I've been doing these lives, but without showing myself, and all the time on Munchie Mafia without showing myself, unless you're very perceptive. Uh, some of the very old stuff, there were a couple of times where I was in front of the camera. Around the corner, over the river, and through the woods. I don't quite know what the heck they're doing there with that intersection, but it's kind of stupid. Yeah, so that was the big thing for the week. Um, we also went hot with the two new cameras on Mafia, and that was kind of a catastrophe. I had everything set up, and with 30 seconds to go, Sibby walked by, picked up one of the remotes, and started pushing buttons, and completely screwed up one of the cameras, and then managed to match the one remote to both cameras, so I couldn't do anything with either camera. And of course, they don't, in the instruction manuals, they don't give you any information, just basically how to quick set it. And you have to go out to the website find it on your own. It doesn't even mention it in the directions for the camera to figure out how to repair the cameras to the remote. And I had a system all set up to run it all. And as soon as we got done with the show, our after show procedure is when we get done with the show, we take the dogs out, and then I sit and rewatch the whole video to see what went right, what went wrong, where I could have done better with the cameras, yada yada. While I'm doing that, she's reading the directions saying, "Oh, look, you can run all of the cameras from an app on your phone." Well, I run a lot of shit already, and my phone is already worked into that mess. So it's not like I can do something different with my phone and all of a sudden be running cameras with it too. I bought the cameras figuring to use the remotes in the process and set up a way to do it. And then she says, "Oh, look, you can run both cameras with one remote." I said, "We kind of figured that out tonight, didn't we?" And when we did go hot on camera 3, all of a sudden the camera backed out of the zoom and showed the laundry room, and she was all bent out of shape about that. We're in the process of putting all our winter or all of our summer stuff away and getting all our winter stuff out and gone through the laundry, so the laundry room was a mess. As soon as it happened, I got off that camera, but there was still a couple of seconds of it. So, although that being said, that was the best performing show we've had in quite a while, and I'm not sure why. If that's because of the two failures or what. So that was cool. Let's see what else is going on this week. We had a dishonest customer yesterday with in business. About 6 months ago, we installed a new AC system. Didn't replace it was a AC and furnace, and we put a new AC in. So the first call we get, she says the AC isn't working. Well, it's 50 degrees out here. Why do you need AC this time of year? And then she calls back about 15 minutes later and says the heat isn't working either. Well, the no AC call gets us out there on a warranty call. So we get out there, and my apprentice is out there doing the call because we figured it was going to be something stupid. And he can't find anything obvious. And it's a propane refrigerant machine, so it has a sensor on it. And we've had a lot of failures on those sensors. So I sent him that direction first, and that all tested out fine. So we started chasing the wires, and he gets up to the thermostat, and we realize on a thermostat, you've got a connection for the power to the thermostat. Uh, there's a connection for the heat and a connection for the cooling. Uh, and those are connected together by a little jumper wire in the thermostat, or on the thermostat, I should say. And those connections are R and RC. RC for our cooling. And then you hook, and everything in HVAC is color coordinated. So you hook the red wire to R, and then there's a jumper going to RC. Or you hook it to RC, and there's a jumper going to R. Um, and when we hook those up, you never loosen both of those terminals. You only have to put one wire in there on those two terminals. So you loosen R or RC, put your wire in and tighten it back down. So I had him check the voltage uh, from R to common, and then from RC to common. And on RC, where the wire was, we had the 24 volts we needed to run it. On RC, we only had 4 volts. So I had him double check it, and it turned out that uh, the wire that, or the screw that holds down the R terminal was loose, like very loose. So it wasn't making contact on the jumper wire. Now, the only way that that could happen is if somebody tried to take the thermostat off the wall. I know that from experience and the fact that I know how my guys are trained. And there would be no reason if they mounted that red wire under RC for them to have ever touched the R terminal. So I'm questioning the whole concept at the moment. And Dylan gets all done with he tightens it all down, and we got 24 volts everywhere, and the heat starts working. Um, and as he's packing it up and getting ready to go, she walks out and says, "Hey, while you're here, can you put this new Ecobee thermostat on for us?" And then it dawned on me. They had tried to put the Ecobee thermostat on, screwed something up, put the other one back on, and it quit working. So the service call should have been a billable call, which I can't do obviously because I mean I could fight them for the $200 in small claims court, but around here, small claims actions always go in the favor of the customer. So we let that one go, and I told Dylan to tell her. In reality, he had all day, so he could have done it, but I told him to tell her we don't have time today. We'll have to come back. We'd have to schedule another appointment to do that. So later in the day, she calls. Uh, uh, she calls to schedule that appointment, and then asks what it's going to cost. And I'm a dick, so I told her 325. Uh, in reality, it would take Dylan about 20 minutes to do it, plus drive time. You know, you figure a service call, which is $120. But I figure if you're going to play dumb games, you're going to win dumb prizes. And if they want to bring somebody else in to do it and they'll do it for cheaper, let them. Because a customer like that, I don't really want in the roster. So that was my fun yesterday. Every now and then you get a customer like that. Hi, dear. We're going up through Milton again. I got to get over a way in there. There we go. Now the sun's slowly starting to come up. Did the puppies give you grief this morning? Or are they even up yet? Yeah, been a weird week, really. Really, she should have been in bed all night. She shouldn't have been throwing anything up. Yeah, that'll do it. Well, this is definitely a longer conga line here this week than we had last week, but it's moving, so I'm not going to pitch too heavily. Get up here on the freeway, and then we should get to move a little bit better. When we went over it a minute ago, it looked like it was moving. And as much as a long line as that looked, it wasn't that bad. Isn't bistro an Italian term? There's a new restaurant up here called Thai Bistro. Oh, great. I just got a crash warning ahead. Delay 13 minutes. Right. We just got to get around this corner and then we can get onto the freeway on ramp and away we go. Hey, Simon. Bistro is, yeah, okay, French even, but it's certainly not Thai. No, this was with an I. And even with a Y, it's still not Thai. It just struck me as odd. There we go. You don't think the French will mind? Probably not. Maybe it's Thai and French fusion. And there's a conga line at the freeway stoplight. These are so dumb. I don't know what traffic engineer thought this was a bright idea. Yeah, probably not. Okay, up we go into the trees over yonder. Well, we were moving. Hey, Karen. Good morning. Well, at least we're moving. Or as soon as they- Yep, here we go. That's okay. At least we're moving better than 167 was. Well, hello, dear. Did you not go live yesterday? I watched for you and didn't see anything, and then I went and looked, and it did look like you did. Your Sunday Wicked Witch live was amazing. Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry. Too much fan popping. Yeah, I went through a bunch of therapy when I had to do my rotator cuff, and they finally gave up and did surgery, and that sucked. That was like 18 months of my right arm being basically useless. Yeah, the stress of that had to be incredible. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's exactly, Karen. Morning, Des. When I was a kid, we had an old English sheepdog, and we had a pool in the backyard. And he used to go ripping out the back door, race all the way around the pool, and then come tearing back into the house through the door, leap in the air from about 8 feet away over the top of the coffee table and land on my lap sideways. So I have experienced said problem. Hey, Bern, welcome in. Sheiky been by, buddy. The gang's all here. Awesome. At least it's finally daylight enough so you can see stuff. When we started this drive, it was dark. This actually isn't moving too bad. Autocorrect is my nemesis. That gets me in more trouble than anything else. No, I'm not on 167. I'm on I-5, and I can't run the carpool lane up here. But the carpool lane isn't really running any better than we are over here. And now we're moving again. So what the hell was the slowdown all about? I thought, yeah, now that Stevie mentions that, I thought you'd mentioned you had some of those at the other house, or are they in storage? Yeah, it doesn't help for just walking around the house. So yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes it hard. I'm really surprised how late all these leaves are and turning and starting to fall. Hi, Share Bear. Thanks for stopping by, honey. Well, this has now come to a dead stop. Oh, we're moving again. Finally. I know it said that there was an accident with a 13-minute delay, but I have no idea where it is. We'll see what the reader board says. Hey, NDR, I saw you go live just before I left, or just after I got up. Let's put it that way. But I was scrambling to get out of the house, so I couldn't jump on. This particular area, I think we were about the same because I'm coming up on the Kent exit. Uh, I may be a little thicker, but I'll just be happy when they open up 167 again. Because then I've got the carpool lane. I can't quite see the reader board yet. Last week it was way off. It said an hour, and I think it took us 45 minutes to get up there. It's 63 minutes to Seattle. So we'll see what it actually takes. By my clock, it's 7:46 right now. But that's kind of relative. It depends on what they're. Is that why the slowdown was? So everybody can slow down and read the reader board. Yep, that's exactly what it does. Man, it may be a little beyond 200 or 220. More like about 180 coming up on the yes, please do. Thank you, Dolly. Even if you're not enjoying it, I appreciate it. Oh, you looked okay. Really, it's not moving too bad. Anyway, like I was saying a minute ago, it depends on where they consider Seattle, because technically Seattle city limits start at the south end of going, or are they talking about downtown Seattle? But I think last time we were 45 minutes into downtown. When I fired up the GPS, it said I was going to be there by 8:37. So that's after all we really use the GPS for is to set your racing set time. If it says 8:37 and you came in at 8:30, it's a win. It is very cold. Excuse me. Not extremely, but it's very chilly. Um, we've got a little three burner Mister Heater propane tank heater on the front porch when we take the dogs out when it's cold. We'll fire that up, and we've had it going the last several nights. Hey Eddie, how about that game, huh? 91. Yeah, I couldn't do that. It's fall. It's supposed to be cooler in the fall. I suppose in that perspective it is a little cooler, but all right. Have a good day at work, Eddie. No, I think we were in the low 40s when I got up. Maybe a little colder than that. The windows were covered, but not frosted over badly. Yeah, okay. I figured. It actually was a lucky guess. I hadn't even looked at the score yet, and I didn't watch the game. I'm a Packers fan, tried and true. We had I was a Packers fan before we ever got the Seahawks, and then I just happened to marry a gal whose grandfather was the first Packer attorney. So yeah, I've seen games at Lambeau. The tickets that that family has. My ex-wife was. That family has tickets that are amazing at Lambeau Field. I've seen games, many games, two rows up on the 50, and the kids usually fly back. And if the Packers are playing the Seahawks and it's back there, they'll fly back for the game. Okay, fair enough. Mariners went down in flames, which was expected. I'm surprised they went as far as they did. Nobody here has any faith in them after they went one season probably 10 years ago now where they won 122 games and then got blown out in the first round. They were they still had tickets for sale on game day for the Mariners game. You would think if any place else, if a team is in the last game going possibly going to the World Series, you'd think the stadium would be sold out. Well, I'm moving. There's 220th or 200. Close enough. No, that's 188. I'm already by 220th. And Ovalia Road. I'm still trying to figure out how we let the Sonics go, but that's another story. I got to get my train horn put on this damn thing. And I could have honked it and he just would have got blowed back into the other way. It's called following distance, dude. Yeah, this will. There we go. And there's another Tukwila sign. Yes, I'll pick that up. Now we're moving. What the hell is that? I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a little black puffy cloud over the top of that building. Or maybe that's the top of the Columbia Center and there's a cloud cutting it in half. That's kind of what it looks like, but that looked really weird for a second. All right, Karen, have a good morning, dear. Maybe we'll see you on the return trip. Yeah, the colors are starting to come in, but we're already starting to lose leaves, and it's just not happening yet. And I'm not sure why that is. We've got the cold temperatures at night, which is usually what initiates it all. Uh, but it was very late in the flipping of the colors. Uh, I got to start working my way over to the right lane because that's where the better traffic flow is. But I'm going to step behind the two trucks unless I can get ahead of that one. Anyway, yeah, I'm still going to end up behind this semi. Oh well, maybe I can get away from him later. I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think you can. Maybe if you go live after me, but uh, yeah, I was going to say you can't do it on your way home. It'll be dark. Yeah, usually by this time, most of the leaves are already coming down. Face the Ace. Hey, bud. Thanks for coming in. Oh, okay. There we go. There's a spot I can get out from behind the semi. Probably wasn't a wise move. I probably should have stayed there. But it's moving. We're actually moving pretty good. It was worse a little bit earlier. Uh, and at this point, I've already been on the road for an hour and a half. Well, yeah, you tried to take last Friday off in order to make up for some of your overtime, and they didn't let you. All right. Just puttering them on. Yeah, he's got to get rid of them. I mean, they're burning through so much money. I mean, that's $60 an hour for those three little idiots to sit in a baseball game. You're not getting involved in it, and nobody is watching my live, so I'm going to spill a bean. There are these three young 20 somethings or younger that are concierges at where she works. Concierge, plural of that. They make $3 an hour. And the last line in the job description is, and other duties that are needed in order to make everything work. They're asked to do dishes. They want their wages and the dishwasher's wages. And all that they really do on their wages is sit and do nothing. They're supposed to be at the front desk and answer phones and take care of the door. And if residents need something, I don't know why they need three of them there on duty anyway. But with three of them there would always be an extra one to throw in the dish pit if somebody called in sick. But no, they want the $16 an hour that the dishwasher makes on top of their $20 an hour if they have to do dishes. It's like, really, dude, you're already on the clock. Oh, the older you get, the worse it gets, Betty. Once you start losing sleep, you never catch up. It just gets worse and worse. Yeah, when the alarm went off this morning, I did not want to get up. I did not want to make this drive, but we're making progress, and I gotta stick with it. Maybe we can finally get done with this. All right, honey. Hopefully the puppies don't give you grief. Yeah, yeah. We're terrible with that. She gets home at 8 o'clock at night, or really more like 8:40 on Mondays and Tuesdays. Those are her late nights. She has to work late. Um, have dinner by 9:30. And then the dogs want to come out afterwards, so we go out with the dogs afterwards. And sometimes we don't get back in the house until 11:30 or midnight even. Well, thank you for subscribing to Squirrel. Um, I do need to warn you that game nights on the first. Yes, actually, yeah, I do. I'm a very capable cook. I'm just nowhere as good as she is. Um, yeah, on game nights, you pride your channel on being on keeping it clean and basically kid friendly. And game nights on Off Topic Squirrel is completely the opposite. We play Cards Against Humanity, and all of the safeties are off, and people come up with some pretty rude answers, so it gets pretty raunchy. So I just wanted to warn you. It's a lot of fun, but yeah, the answers sometimes get pretty raunchy. But it's always a good time, and everybody has fun if you can put up with that. I know there are some people that can't, so that's why I like to warn people. Um, we do put 18 and over limits on it. Not just that it's not for kids. I actually set the age limits on it. Not that that works because they all lie to get in. But if we figure out that there's somebody that's not there, they're quickly removed, or not supposed to be there, they're quickly removed. But it's a good time, and we give away prizes. I don't get them all mailed out quickly enough, but sometimes we'll go a couple of months before I get them mailed out. But they get mailed out. Yeah, but you run a pretty tight ship. I mean, and this is the opposite. I mean, we do, but it's yeah, you understand. As far as I know, Sippy has the biggest Cards Against Humanity collection of anybody on the planet. Cards Against Humanity sells. It's called a big black box, and it's about 20 inches long and holds the cards. And she's got 11 of those. She's got every expansion pack, every aftermarket, other companies that have made cards. She's got them all. And obviously, since the people viewing don't have cards to play, if you've ever actually played the game, the way the game actually works is you deal out 10 white cards to every player, and then we read the black cards, and you're supposed to pick the best answer. And since obviously everybody doesn't have white cards, we let them make up the answer. And the best answer wins, and they win the prize, whether it's a sticker or an oyster with a pearl in it or a pearl cage. Won a knife. Wow. Well, I suppose. I mean, we watch El Lunacy queuing, and he gives away knives. Of course, those are cooking knives, but that's really crap. If you say we, I absolutely Like I said, I'm late sending them out. The last round that went out was 2 months ago, and that actually had 3 months of prizes in it. And right now, I'm 2 months down on prizes, but obviously, we warn everybody if that happens. Um, but everybody, with a couple of exceptions, and that's only because they never emailed us their address. I've got two envelopes that I haven't been able to send. Uh, or they sent me an address and didn't give me a real name, like Gray Alien. She didn't. She sent me her mailing address, didn't send me her real name, so I mailed it to Gray Alien at that address. But yeah, it's a fun time. As the saying goes, we give away prizes of questionable quality, and we're not connected with any Pearl multi-level marketing crap. We just decided that was a cool way to give away prizes. So yeah, exactly. And if they come back, I know who I owe prizes to. If they would show up again, I would absolutely get that. Remind them to send me the address. Um, and that was actually kind of funny. I had the three names in my head, and Gray Alien I thought was one of them. I knew I had a problem with it, but couldn't remember what it was at the time. And she popped in, and I said, "Wait, there you are. I need your address." And she said, "I got my pearl." I said, "Wait a minute. No, I needed your name. If you notice, the envelope came to Gray Alien." And everybody, of course, thought that was hysterical. So, and then we had the secret word unfortunately, Eddie, at the moment we're the first Saturday of the month, and I think the last when we did it last time, we were up against you and Ralph. It's it's 8 p.m. Eastern, or no, 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. First Saturday of the month. We were trying to do double headers the first Sunday of the month, and we do Munchie Mafia at 3, and then do Squirrel at 6 Pacific time. And it got to be too much. And it was okay when Stevie had Mondays off, because if you do 6 hours a show, it takes some recovery time, as I'm sure Des knows. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's why you haven't been there. I thought you were subscribed, but I knew when we went to that schedule, it was going to be up against you guys, and I didn't do it on purpose. It was just that was the best we could come up with at the time. Um, and that's kind of an after hours kind of thing, and so we kind of put it for later in the evening for the rest of the world. Yeah, I think I've seen you on the subscriber list. But yeah, we go at 8 p.m. Central on the first Saturday of the month. That's the guaranteed time. There are pop-ups from time to time, uh, but it's a fun time. And with her new schedule, she only has Saturday and Sunday off, so we can't really go back to that double header thing. And I don't know. I don't know what else to do with it. I got to get over a couple of lanes here. I think I can get up. Yep, I got it. I can get up ahead of this truck, slide over a lane, and then I can drop over another lane, and I'm ready. Yep, we got it. On average, the games last about 2 hours, uh, and it takes five wins, 5 wins to end the game. First one you get one sticker, second one, and in reality, if you win something, you get all the stickers. But first win you get one sticker, second win you get another sticker, and then we started that when we only had 2 stickers, one for Munchie Mafia and one for Off Topic Squirrel, and now we've got 11 stickers or something. So if you get mailed anything, you get mailed all the stickers. Um, anyway, first win, and I picked the best answer. Um, First win, you win a sticker. Second win, you win a sticker. Third win, you get to pick a number from 1 to 10, which is the number bag with an oyster in it. And she cracks the oyster open in front of you, and you get to see what pearl you win. And then if you win a fourth one, you get to pick a cage to put the pearl in. So you've got a necklace if you want it. And then the fifth win, you get an autograph Cards Against Humanity card from City. Yeah, it's off Tropical Squirrel. That's the newest sticker coming. Ed from Whistle Stop Homes was tired one night, made a comment about off Tropical Squirrel, and it stuck, and Stevie ran with it, and we now have an off Tropical Squirrel sticker. And I'm not sure where she's going with the next one, but a few nights later, Ed was tired and said Midget Mafia. And although we all know that that's not a proper term, but she's going to run with it and figure out how to do it. And it's 8 o'clock somewhere. That's what those stickers are called. Well, it's 8:25, so it actually took us 40 minutes to get to Seattle. So their 63-minute estimate was wrong. Yeah, off Tropical Squirrel. That was funny. Everybody gave him crap for about 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then I look over, and all of a sudden, Sydney's designing this off Tropical Squirrel, like Bucci on vacation. And the name of the squirrel is Bucci. Yeah, when we're sitting on the front porch with the dogs out, I'm sitting in one chair, and she's sitting about 2.5 feet to my right, and she has 2 iPads going, and she's always designing something or writing a new song, or she's always tinkering with something. The editing we do on the computer, but she's always designing something. The intros and outros, and And then at the end of the show, we spin the wheel of all the creators that were in the live. I make a list of everybody that comes in, and we spin the wheel to see who's going to be mentioned in the outro next week. And about that, Land Life won Sunday night, so he'll be mentioned in next week's outro, or he'll get the promo in next week's outro. Yeah, I can't wait to see what she does with Midget Mafia. And she does all this. Occasionally, she'll grab some clip art, but most of what she does is hand drawn. What the hell? Oh, it was a fence. I just saw some guy walking up the side of the road, and all of a sudden he grabbed something and jumped. He was gone. Apparently, they tore a hole in the fence, and that lets them get up into they call it the jungle, and it's a homeless encampment back back up in the weeds. Yeah, right there. Cool. And I didn't intentionally do anything. I just as I was sitting there watching Gary's live, and he was talking about people coming up, uh, it I just remembered the mask. So I said to Sylvie, I should just go grab the mask and go up. And she got hysterical and decided that it was a good idea. So that's how it happened. I honestly didn't plan it. Well, see if you've gone first. Yeah, it really was planned. It was just funny the way it worked out. And it will happen again, and it will happen on yours. And I know it wasn't first, but except you'll probably leave me in the basement. Yeah, and I'm sure he's going to play that to the fullest. If it's any consolation, I did see him run you down at the hotel. So when he keeps saying he didn't, I can attest to the fact that he did. Is it Sharame? Welcome in. I don't know. The ad symbols are throwing me off, so I don't know if I know you or I don't know you, but welcome in. All right, I got to get over a couple of lanes here. There we go. Away we go. Hey, Tiger. Thanks for dropping by. Tiger's played Cards Against Humanity with us. He's he's a regular offender. We were talking about off-topic squirrel and Cards Against Humanity. Always a good time. Maybe I'll talk to her about backing it off an hour and going at 5 o'clock our time on Saturdays. What time, Eddie? You guys go at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock? Yeah, I am. I'm probably within 5 minutes of turning it off on this trip. I'll have to go look at Ralph's page and see what time you all go. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. I'll talk to Sydney about it. Yep, almost here. When the alarm went off at 5:45, I did not want to go. Graffiti on the wall. I don't know what the hell they're trying to spell. Maybe Mongo? No, that's the G's going the wrong way. Or is that a E? Oh, Mono. Monoe. Bump, 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 bump. Ouch. All right. Anyway, we'll be back in an hour and a half or two, somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 o'clock. Get into the parking garage, get all the way down to the bottom where I hide in the corner, and get my knee scooter all put up. 7 Central, and Gary goes at 8:30. So yeah, 5 o'clock would put us right in at the same time. So that wouldn't help. All right, guys, I'm gonna get ready to shut this thing down, and we'll do it all again in a little bit, and hopefully have more good news. All right, love y'all, and we'll see you in a bit.